What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Joy Speaks, a channel that I created to provide a voice for the recovery community. And when I say recovery community, I'm referring to people who are struggling with substance abuse, alcohol, mental health issues, or their loved ones. Because as we know, it's not just the addict or the alcoholic who's affected, but also the community that surrounds them. Before I get started, I want to ask a big favor. Please hit like, hit share, and most importantly, hit subscribe. Hitting subscribe will cost you absolutely nothing. All that will happen is you will gain access to everything I have with my channel. And if you hit the notifications button, you'll be notified every single time I put out some fresh content. Man, I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to say that intro. It's been a minute. It's been 2 minutes. It's been too long since I have uploaded a video, but I do have an explanation. No, I didn't relapse. No, nothing terrible happened. Basically, life showed up. The MacBook that I was using to edit my content pretty much died. I ran out of room, I ran out of space, I had an external hard drive, blah, 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 blah. I tried a bunch of different methods, nothing was working. And so I had to just save up some money so that I could upgrade. And so I just got a brand new MacBook Air. And I know that with this MacBook, I'll be able to get back into editing content and just go full steam ahead. And yeah, I just want to give you guys a life update. I did a life update video in 2024. I'm eager to update you guys on my life right now as we are making our way into 2025. It was a challenge. It was really, like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was gonna give up on putting content out, especially when I realized that I couldn't edit at home anymore. You know what they say, like you have to invest in yourself. And, you know, I have been putting out videos pretty much with the bare minimum. You know, I was using my iPhone, I'm still using my iPhone. I do have somewhat of a microphone. It's not the microphone that comes with the iPhone. It's something I purchased, but it wasn't anything expensive. And I was using an old MacBook from like 2017 and it was outdated. And yeah, you know, I'm not somebody who spends a lot of money on their self. And so I had to convince myself to reinvest. And so I did. And so now I'm back and I'm not gonna stop. You know, I think there's something to be said about, you know, us on our journey and, you know, setting these goals and, you know, having these intentions and then facing obstacles. Life is going to present obstacles. It's inevitable. And so I think I am demonstrating to the universe that this is something that I'm serious about. And so I'm going to get back into just throwing some more content out and actually enjoy this process. It's cathartic for me. In the beginning, it was a little uncomfortable just because, you know, I'm putting a lot of my business out there, but my story is not just mine. And I always, you know, have this intention on helping other people with my story. And so if that's even sharing some of the roadblocks of content creation, that's what I'm going to do. Still sober. Still sober. So today I have like 1,590 something days of continuous sobriety. So I just celebrated 4 years of sobriety this past August. And so this coming August, it'll be 5 years, but we're not there yet. That being said, I have had my challenges. You know, being sober is not easy. You know, I think at this point in my process, I have experienced like every single thing you can think of without relapsing. I've experienced financial insecurity. I've experienced grief when I lost my dog in year 1. I've experienced anger many times. I've experienced betrayal. I've experienced jealousy. I've experienced, you know, a little bit of sadness. And then when this past election cycle happened, oh man, it tore me up. I was deeply committed. I was like borderline obsessing over it. And I had hope. I had hope. I thought things would have played out differently. And when they didn't, I ended up pulling away. So it was kind of timely that my MacBook gave out right around the time of the election, because I wasn't even able to stay engaged in social media. And so what I did was I went on this social media mental detox, where I got off of my Facebook, I got off of my Instagram, I stopped posting on TikTok. I just completely disengaged because I needed a break. I needed a break. That kind of just sheer and utter disgust is absolutely a trigger. You know, when I felt like, you know, the world was taking a nosedive, I was absolutely triggered to use. But I've been triggered so many times through this process that I have an incredible amount of tools to apply before I decide to pick up a drink or a drug. So yeah, I disengaged. I disengaged from social media. I started to, I downloaded an app to learn another language. We're still attached to our phones, and I'm still attached to my phone. But I realized too, and it took a while, it took a few weeks for me to really start to experience like how much time I was wasting in doom scrolling, how much time I was wasting in a space of comparison, you know, and just kind of feeding, you know, this woe is me, this I should be here, I should look like this, I should make this much amount of money, my life should look like this. Like, people are only posting their highlights on social media, and it's my opinion that it's a facade. You know, it's not real. With the filters, with the exaggerations, you know, and now especially with AI, that is not real life. And so over the past few months, I have been able to just re-engage with reality. And I gotta say, like, I do feel a lot less anxious. I do feel like I have a lot more peace of mind. I have a lot more clarity and security around like who I am. And I don't think it would have been possible had I not taken this break from social media. But being that I have an intention on being a content creator, you know, it is not realistic for me to just stay away from social media. And so I am going to slowly re-engage myself back into social media. I do not plan on getting back into the habit of doom scrolling at all. I don't miss it. It depletes your dopamine stores. It's another high. And if you have this addictive kind of character trait, you know, it's easy to fall under, you know, this just kind of loop of scrolling until your fingers hurt, and then you feel unworthy or less than or inadequate. And that's not a space I like to be. And so as I reintroduce myself into social media, I will be doing some posting, but I'm not going to do a lot of scrolling, and I'm not going to do a lot of comparing. And I'm for sure like going to regulate the time that I check, you know, my comments and check, you know, people's replies, because that's also, you know, just an opportunity for me to seek validation, but a validation that doesn't sincerely, organically exist. Yes, you know, the people behind the screens are real for the most part. However, I cannot live, you know, with my happiness being contingent upon how many likes or how many views. Like, even just in this world of YouTube, like, initially I was so hyper focused. I was checking the views on my videos like 10 to 15 times a day. Obsessive, completely obsessive. And so, yeah, I have a lot more freedom today now that I've disengaged, and I'm just going to be very, very careful around how I, you know, allow myself to kind of fall back into the world of social media, because it's not like it's all bad, you know, and I am going to take the time to kind of curate my profiles and curate my pages so that really only healthy, you know, like-minded messages are coming across my feed. I don't need the toxicity. I don't need the negativity. There's enough of that in the world as it is. And so I don't need any extra of that. So yeah, so that happened. The world changed. Our political climate is changing. And that's even more of a reason for me to stay on top of my content, because I do feel like I can add some balance to the scales as far as like just bringing some positivity, bringing some light, and bringing some hope. You know, to this day, I'm still beating the odds. People who the amount of people who sustain long-term recovery after the kinds of substances that I was using is very low. And so I am fully aware that I'm one of the lucky ones. I am blessed to have been able to sustain long-term recovery, and I have every plan on staying sober. I still am attending my meetings. I'm still am working with others. I'm still actively in service on a daily basis with my community. And that service has added a lot of purpose to my life, and I've been able to, experience and engage and kind of nourish these remarkable relationships with some truly incredible people. And I'm so grateful for that. Let's see what else. I've been able to maintain my diet and exercise regimen. That's by the grace of God for sure, because Lord knows I love my snacks and I love my sweets. But discipline is where it's at for me, and this discipline has produced some incredible results in every aspect of my life. It started off, practicing discipline with remaining abstinent and not putting substances in my body. And now I apply that discipline in the gym. I apply that discipline with my diet, and also with my mental diet, disciplined around the kind of content that I'm ingesting. And it works. It truly works. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that, for me, this process has just been very progressive in nature. The wins and the rewards from, being sober, they don't stop, in day 30 and day 60 and day 90 or at 1 year. Speaking of, I just made 1 year free of nicotine addiction, and I'm going to do a completely separate video on that. But I'm gonna tell you guys, that has been and still is, it's not easy. It is not easy. It's still something that I think about from time to time, especially when I get stressed out. The idea of a vape or the idea of nicotine does still sometimes sound appetizing. But once again, practicing discipline, I'm able to just do something else, like meditate, like journal. I've been journaling a lot lately, and that has also been helping just with my mental health. Getting these thoughts out, getting these feelings out, getting this frustration out, or whatever the emotion is, and putting it on paper. And I do believe that just like having conversations with people, when we put pen to paper, we can transfer the power from inside to outside and also find some relief. I'm also taking, are you guys ready for this? I am taking my first trip out of the country. Yes, and actually just a couple weeks from today. I got my first passport. This is something that's been on my vision board for far too long, and I'm taking the plunge. I'm going solo. I have every intention on maintaining my sobriety on this trip, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to document the trip. I feel like if I pay too much attention on trying to document, I'll not be present and not be in the moment, and it's a short trip. It's a really short trip, and so I want to enjoy and savor every moment of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of terrified to get on a plane again. Those that know me know I have a very irrational fear of flying. Yes, I have flown many times before, but I've also had some very uncomfortable experiences flying, and it has been at least 10 years since I've been on a plane. And I have not left my small bubble of community since I've gotten sober. I have not. And so this will be the first time that I am taking a full-on trip by myself, but I'm not traveling alone per se. I'm traveling with a full toolbox, with all the resources I need to get through whatever situation. I'm staying in a place that is, very, very highly recommended and well-reviewed and very, very safe. And yeah, I've been on the grind, you guys. I have been on the grind nonstop. And I felt myself moving into a place of burnout. And so I'm taking this vacation, you know, and that's not, this trip is not my only vacation. Like, I'm taking a full-on break for a few weeks just to get back into my content. There are also some incredible parts of my life that I'm gonna keep private, just because I gotta hold on to some things just for myself, you know, and I will celebrate the wins as they happen. But there are certain parts of my life that I'm working on that, you know, I'm very careful to protect spiritually. And so, yeah, I will be sharing more of that, you know, further down the line in the future. But yeah, life is good. Life is good. I am anticipating this vacation. You know, I am anticipating getting back into content creation. I've got, you know, I'm very inspired right now. You know, during this past couple months, I've had the opportunity to kind of plug into some podcasts and just feel motivated, you know, reinvigorated for this process, and just, you know, figuring out what it is that I can add, because let's face it, YouTube is oversaturated with a whole bunch of ideas and themes and podcasts. And I was spending a lot of time paying too much attention to them and not enough attention to me. And so, yeah, this is going on my second year in this process. And I do think this is going to be the best year. For me, my sobriety year 4 has been the best year. In a few weeks, I'll have my new camera. And so I will be really excited to, you know, start recording on that. I hope that, you know, with everything that is happening with the world, you are able to find some space where you can feel safe and feel heard, because that's the whole intention of my channel, is giving a voice to voices who typically we don't hear every day. I can't wait to read your comments. Please, once again, hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, hit that notifications button so you can stay notified, and you'll be hearing a lot more of me. Love you guys. See you on the next one.